It's been 3 years since President Trump's election, and while the economy is humming along, there could be some storm clouds on the horizon. Our editor-in-chief, Andy Serwer, is out with an open letter to the president and joins us now. Andy, your second open letter to the president. What made you write this one?
Well, I wrote him after he first got elected 3 years ago. And so what happened is that Facebook actually resurfaced the letter in my news feed, reminding me, this happened 3 years ago.
Yep.
And there's that. And then, of course, the election's coming up. There's impeachment going on. And then I also happened to see the president last week at the New York Economic Club. So all those things put together sort of said, maybe this is the right time to write the president again and let him know what's on my mind, also to give him an update on some of the things that I wrote him about 3 years ago.
And one of the things you said in that letter is you said he actually does deserve credit where credit is due, that he deserves some credit for at least sustaining economic growth.
Yeah, at the very least, Alexis, and I know Democrats don't like to hear this and even acknowledge it, but I mean, if you take a look at these things on the screen right there, the stock market, tax reform, regulations, unemployment, consumer confidence, all those things are sky high right now, are in really great shape. When you start to scratch below the surface, though, things may be not quite so rosy because economic and wealth inequality are still very, very strong. And that's part of what's dividing this country up.
Andy, you watched President Trump give his speech at the Economic Club last week, and you note in your story, you didn't feel much love in the room.
It's interesting, Brian, because, on the one hand, it's New York, not so friendly to President Trump, but these are business people, and there are also a lot of friends of his and acquaintances on the dais, Steve Schwarzman and people like that, Larry Kudlow right to his left. So they're business people, so they would be fairly friendly, especially given all those economic barometers I just talked about. On the other hand, I think that the people in the city who know him really well, they've kind of like acknowledge that he's done an okay job, but they don't have a personal bond with the president. And I think that a lot of his behavior is something they find distasteful, quite honestly.
What about his legacy? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with the impeachment. We don't know what's going to happen with the elections. But what do you think, as it stands right now, what would President Trump's legacy be?
Well, I think he has not brought the country together. And I don't think he's really tried to do that. That's something he hasn't really sought to do. So I think that's a problem. But when you look at some of the things he said he wanted to do, which is things like immigration, like building the wall, he hasn't really accomplished that. And then there's infrastructure as well, something that I think really needs to be undertaken in this country for a variety of reasons, to spur the economy and also to create jobs for those people who are sort of chronically unemployed. And then there's the trade war. I mean, if he leaves without that being resolved, that would be like going into the China shop and breaking everything and then just walking out. I mean, Henry Kissinger the other day said that not resolving this could be incredibly destructive to the global economy for years and decades even to come.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.